You thought the story ended years ago. You thought the drama had faded, the headlines had cooled, and the secrets had been buried under red carpets and carefully rehearsed smiles. But now? Now the silence is cracking. And at the center of it all stands Tisha Campbell. No more protecting. No more smiling through interviews. No more playing loyal to the Hollywood machine. According to whispers spreading like wildfire online, she is done shielding Will Smith. And what she is allegedly revealing has social media spiraling into absolute chaos. The internet exploded the moment her name became attached to those accusations. "This cannot be real," one user wrote on X. Another posted, "If this is true, Hollywood is darker than we imagined." TikTok creators stitched clips together, slowed down interviews, circled facial expressions, analyzed pauses like they were decoding a crime scene confession. Because in Hollywood, timing is never random. And when the timing lines up too perfectly, people start connecting dots that maybe were never meant to be connected. Let us rewind. This story does not begin yesterday. It does not begin with a podcast clip or a cryptic post. It begins in the 1990s, when fame felt fresh and the future felt limitless. There is that photo. You know the one. 1996, a snapshot frozen in time. Will Smith grinning wide. Dwayne Martin standing confidently beside him. Marlon Wayans glowing with early career ambition. Alex Thomas right there in the mix. Young. Hungry. On the rise. The industry's new golden circle. At that time, Dwayne Martin was married to Tisha Campbell. Will Smith was television royalty, the untouchable Fresh Prince, building an empire brick by brick. Everyone in that circle was chasing something enormous. Money. Power. Longevity. Immortality in an industry that chews people up and spits them out. And when you look at that photo now, knowing what we know today, it feels less like a memory and more like the beginning of a mystery. Because here is where the narrative shifts from nostalgia to something far more unsettling. Online commentators are now digging into the alleged influence Will has had over younger actors who came into his orbit. Names are being thrown around recklessly. Brisher Y. Gray. Jabari Banks. Even his own son, Jaden Smith. Conspiracy-driven creators claim there is a pattern. They point to mentorships that felt intense. Relationships that looked close. Career arcs that shifted suddenly. And then they attach words like control, manipulation, and even dark spiritual energy. Let us be clear, these are allegations circulating online. But that has not stopped the internet from running with them. Some users claim there is something almost hypnotic about Will's presence. They analyze interviews where young actors seem nervous, overly deferential, almost reverent. "Look at the body language," one viral video insisted. "That is not admiration. That is influence." Comments flooded in. "Hollywood rituals are real. You cannot tell me this is coincidence. Why do people change after getting close to him?" And then came the whispers about so-called Illuminati ties. That word alone ignites the algorithm. Illuminati. Secret societies. Elite circles protecting their own. Whether factual or fictional, the suggestion alone is enough to keep viewers glued to their screens at 3 in the morning. But what makes this narrative explosive is the emotional layer of betrayal. Because for years, Will Smith was the image of positivity. Motivation speeches. Family man branding. The lovable, charismatic superstar who survived scandal after scandal with a carefully crafted redemption arc. So when cracks begin to show, people feel personally deceived. "He sold us inspiration," one commenter wrote. "Now you are telling me there is something darker underneath? And where does Tisha Campbell fit into all of this?" That is the question echoing across every platform. Some believe her past proximity to that 1990s circle gives her insight few others possess. She saw the friendships up close. She witnessed the dynamics behind closed doors. She lived inside that Hollywood ecosystem when the empire was still under construction. If she truly has decided to speak out, the implications would be seismic. Because Hollywood survives on silence. On unspoken agreements. On mutual protection. And when someone breaks that silence, the industry does not tremble quietly. It fractures loudly. The most shocking twist? The narrative is no longer just about one man. It is about a system. A network. An era of celebrities who rose together, protected one another, and allegedly kept certain truths buried. That 1996 photo now circulates again, reposted millions of times, captioned with ominous music and blinking red arrows. What once symbolized brotherhood now fuels suspicion. And the public? The public is divided. Some defend Will fiercely. This is character assassination, they argue. Show proof. Others insist. That smoke like this never appears without fire. The debate rages in comment sections, reaction videos, live stream breakdowns. Every old clip is being re-examined. Every friendship dissected. Every smile questioned. This is what makes Hollywood scandals so intoxicating. The mixture of admiration and doubt. The fear that the people we idolized might be hiding something far more complex, far more human, or perhaps far more calculated. Whether these allegations hold truth or collapse under scrutiny, one thing is undeniable: the narrative around Will Smith is shifting. The image feels less untouchable. The legacy feels more complicated. And if Tisha Campbell truly steps forward with receipts, not rumors but evidence, this could transform from online speculation into something far more explosive. Because when a former insider stops protecting and starts exposing, the story does not just trend. It detonates. And if that 1996 photo really marked the beginning, then what we are witnessing now might just be the unraveling. For years, the circle looked unbreakable. A polished Hollywood alliance. Smiling red carpets. Carefully curated interviews. A friendship that felt untouchable. But here's the thing about Hollywood perfection: it always cracks when you least expect it. Let us rewind to 2012. Overnight, the internet exploded. A tabloid cover hit the stands like a grenade tossed into a mansion full of glass walls. The headline screamed about a secret same-sex relationship involving Will Smith and Dwayne Martin.
And then I saw sexual acts that I walked in on.
Who'd you walk in on?
Not a whisper. Not a subtle rumor. A bold, unapologetic accusation splashed across the front page. And at the center of it all? The implication that someone had come between Will and Jada Pinkett Smith, and even Tisha Campbell. The internet did what the internet does. Timelines caught fire. Comment sections turned into battlefields. Some people called it slander. Others said, "Where there is smoke, there is fire." Memes started circulating. Think pieces flooded blogs. Twitter threads dissected every old interview clip like it was a hidden confession waiting to be decoded. And then March 7, 2012 happened. Jada stepped forward publicly. She took to Twitter with a tone that sounded exhausted, protective, and defiant all at once. She declared that she was fed up with the media targeting the Smith family. She described them as an amazing couple. She urged people to stop spreading lies. On the surface, it looked like loyalty, strength, unity. But here is where things start to feel uncomfortable. Because sometimes the loudest defense is also the loudest distraction. Years passed. The headlines faded. The public moved on. Or at least it appeared that way. Then 2018 arrived like a plot twist no one could ignore. Tisha filed for divorce after 24 years of marriage. 24 years. That is not a fling. That is a lifetime in Hollywood years. And suddenly the fairy tale partnership between her and Dwayne unraveled in court documents instead of glossy magazine spreads. Then 2019 escalated everything. Tisha went to court seeking a restraining order against Dwayne Martin. The allegations were serious. Emotional and physical mistreatment during their marriage. Court filings described moments that felt chilling. She stated that he grabbed her arm. That he attempted to pull her into a bedroom against her will. The image painted in those documents was nothing like the polished public persona people thought they knew. Social media reacted instantly. Some people expressed heartbreak. "I always thought they were couple goals." Others demanded accountability. Some users began digging through old interviews, side-eyeing past friendships, questioning dynamics that once seemed harmless. And inevitably, the old 2012 rumors resurfaced. Screenshots reappeared. Old headlines began circulating again as if they had never left. Suddenly, what once seemed like tabloid noise started to look different. And now, just when the story feels like it might finally settle, another chapter opens. Tisha has announced a memoir titled The A Word, A Mother's Journey Through Autism and Love, scheduled for release on September 15th. On the surface, it is a deeply personal account of motherhood, of raising a son diagnosed with autism at 18 months. It is about resilience, about love, about advocacy. But here is what has people whispering online: is that truly all this book is about? Because when someone walks away from a 24-year marriage, when they step out of an entire Hollywood ecosystem tied to that union, when court documents expose private pain, silence becomes heavier than truth. Comment sections are already buzzing. Is she finally going to tell everything? Will there be names? Is this the moment the full story comes out? There is a feeling in the air. A sense that the public only ever saw the edited version of events. The red carpet cut. The talk show cut. The Instagram cut. And now? People are wondering whether the director's cut is coming. Because in Hollywood, loyalty can look like love until it looks like strategy. Defense can look like unity until it feels like damage control. And memoirs about motherhood can be deeply genuine, while also holding chapters that rewrite everything we thought we knew. One thing is certain: when long-buried rumors, court allegations, and carefully guarded friendships collide, the truth rarely arrives quietly. And if this story has taught us anything, it is this: the strongest circles sometimes hide the deepest fractures. The silence did not just break. It shattered. For years, the whispers floated quietly through Hollywood corridors, bouncing off marble floors and gated mansions. But then, suddenly, the dam cracked open. Secrets started leaking, and the internet did what it always does when blood hits the water. It circled. And at the center of the storm stood one name, Will Smith. Before we go any further, we need to talk about the man who lit the match.
Jada was the woman that everybody wanted, and Will...
Brother Bilal. A figure who claimed he was not just an employee, but a confidant. A personal assistant. A close friend. Nearly 4 decades in the inner circle. That is not a casual connection. That is proximity. That is access. Then he appeared on Tasha K's platform and dropped a bomb so explosive it detonated across every timeline within minutes.
That Will Smith had a small dick?
Oh, I am saying to you, if a woman...
He alleged that he once walked in on Will Smith and Dwayne Martin in an intimate act. No hesitation. No ambiguity. Just a direct accusation. Within hours, the response came.